Yeah, we don't. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the closed session for the February 4th, 2026 HBCSD Board of Education regular meeting. Natalie, can you please take the roll call?
Board Member Van Landingham.
Present.
Board Member Cole is absent. Board Member Bove LaMonica.
Present.
Vice President Clerk Kluth.
Present.
And President Barrow.
Present.
Thank you.
Members of the audience may address the board regarding closed session agenda items. Comments from visitors shall not exceed 3 minutes unless waived by a majority of all members of the board. Natalie, do we have any in-person requests to address the board?
We have none.
With no comments, I'd like to adjourn to closed session and will return at 6 p.m. for open session. Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Hi. It is 6:01. Let's call to order the open session of the regular meeting of the HBCSD School Board. Natalie, could you please take the roll call?
Board Member Van Landingham,
Present.
Board Member Cole,
Present.
Board Member Bove LaMonica, Vice President Clerk Cluth,
Present.
and President Barrow.
Present. Okay, tonight in closed session, the board approved a resignation agreement with a certificated employee, provided for a resignation from employment, release of claims, lump sum severance payment, and other terms as specified in the written agreement, a copy of which is available for public inspection upon request. The roll call vote was as follows. Board Member Van Landingham, yes. Board Member Cole, yes. Board Member Bove LaMonica, yes. Board Vice President Clerk Cluth, yes, and Board President, yes. If everyone would please rise and join us for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I always want someone to sing the Star Spangled Banner. Okay, we'll move on to approval of tonight's agenda. Do I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, Jen. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Carol. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries and agenda is approved. We will now move on to announcements. Hermosa Valley Student Council, our favorite thing.
President, we are excited again to be here tonight and update you on what has been happening at Valley. Our leadership class is currently focusing on communication skills and how the way we communicate can impact others. Students are working in groups to create short skits that demonstrate the difference between ineffective communication and effective communication. Through the activity, students are learning how tone, body language, listening, and word choice all play a role in being strong leaders and respectful communicators.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kelsey Kettler, Valley Student Council member. Our new student store has been a success and will continue to be run under Student Council. Students can earn points by following the WAVE, which are handed out by staff members. They can use their points to purchase a variety of items through the PBIS store. Student Council has been doing great filling orders and making sure items are stocked. Art 6 just began our ceramic unit where they will be creating clay masks. In Art 7, are in the middle of creating ceramic rattles. They are using a technique to attach pieces to the surface. Once they have constructed the main form, Art 8 will begin their ceramic unit. Students are researching different styles of ceramic bowls. They will start brainstorming ideas and will make 2 bowls that follow a theme of their choice. These bowls will be used for our fundraiser event, empty bowls.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mia, Valley Student Council member. In Yearbook, students are working on their 3rd round of page assignments. Placing photos and text on page sections of the yearbook, we are now planning how to get all the missing photos from the remaining pages. In speech and debate, student teams are preparing for the first formal in-class debate. Preparation includes research, argument construction, assertion, research, and evidence. Perspective talking and team collaboration. Students must use their public speaking skills to deliver a well-argued debate. 6th grade PLTW students are learning how to measure with the dial-capator. They are making plastic and wooden cubes complete to see which group can assemble the quickest. STEM 7 students are finishing the board game unit with a rule book, game board / pieces, and packaging. STEAM 8 students are presenting their video games they programmed on Scratch. The game has movement mechanics, a win/lose screen, set of number attempts, and detailed sprites, characters / objects. Last week, Valley hosted the annual book fair. It was held in the library.
HVS took part in the Great Kindness Challenge last week from January 26th to January 30th. This was a school-wide initiative focused on building a culture of kindness, inclusion, and respect. Students were encouraged to practice intentional acts of kindness throughout the week. This included dress-up days, lunchtime activities, and acts of kindness done in advisory. We are thankful for supporting and modeling kindness in your classrooms and helping create a positive school community. Math Olympiad competed in their first competition, the AMC 8, against Adams Middle School. We had 3 sixth grade students place top 5. We are looking forward to more competitions this month.
In Just Words elective with Ms. Cox, students are in the second half of Unit 5, where they are studying 2-syllable and 3-syllable words. They are learning how to decode and encode these words by breaking apart the syllables. They are also learning how suffixes to these words. Finally, in B, 8th grade, they have just completed their second pen pal letter to their amigos in Loreto, Mexico. They hope to get more correspondence back from the school before the school year ends. Students can continue to practice listening and reading comprehension as well as speaking in practice each week. Thank you for your time. We look forward to updating you next month.
Thank you so much. You guys are always the highlight of our meeting, so. Okay, so we're moving on to public comments. Members of the audience may address the board on any topic regardless of whether it is listed on the agenda. However, the board may not discuss issues raised that are not listed on the agenda. Topics not on the agenda that are brought to the board's attention may be investigated by the administration and a report may be made to the board, either publicly or privately at a future meeting. Comments from visitors shall not exceed 3 minutes per individual speaker unless waived by a majority of all members of the board. Natalie, do we have any requests to address the board?
We do not.
Seeing no more, I will close public comment and move on to board member reports. Maggie.
Wanted to send a thank you to Councilmember Michael Keegan for doing a tour of Valley School. He's a parent of 2 alumni who've come through our district, and so it's nice to reintroduce him to the district as a city council partner.
Thank you.
And we did have a South Bay Coalition Against Hate meeting. Gosh, when was it, Susan? Last week, Monday. Yeah. And so it wasn't a lot that was, it was just a kind of get to know you, get to know the people that are now on the board, kind of put together some ideas for what they want the organization to do moving forward. So I just wanted everyone to know we did meet. Susan and I did.
Oh, Carol? Rachel? And I have nothing other than we had another Saturday welcome to the school to Valley School for incoming parents coming from 4th grade and any other students maybe transferring. So it was fun. It was pretty full house. It was lovely to see everybody. Okay, reports to the board and discussion. 10, one mid-year LCAP. Ms. Gluck and Ms. Montalvo.
Welcome. Paula and I are here to share with you our mid-year LCAP as required to do so to the board. Our summary here is listed. The most important thing that we want to highlight is that we are in year 2 of our LCAP, of a 3-year LCAP. This LCAP review is to review that we are in alignment with our strategic plan and that we're making progress to our goals that we have set forth as a district. As stated earlier, As stated earlier, we are required to share with the board where we are at with our mid-year LCAP. The one thing that we want to highlight is we are looking at our actions as well as our goals, as well as our expenditures and how much we've spent this year and how far we've come to making our goals.
It just doesn't like you.
No. Do you mind switching to the next slide? Thank you. Data is our prime use of our tool that we're using in regards to looking at our action items. And the reason why we're using data, it confirms whether we are being effective with our strategies and with our goals. And we want to look to see, do we need to make any refinements for our third year LCAP, and what does it look like and how is it tied to our goals? And we continue to work with our stakeholders and educational partners to see what are some areas that we can enhance our LCAP so we can further improve our educational program for our students. Slide, please. When you look at the overall profile of the Hermosa Beach City School District, you can look at our unduplicated population, which is approximately 8%. We have 3 schools, and you can see here that we have close to 200 employees, just shy of that, and the various ethnicities that represent our district. One thing I'm really proud of with the work we've done as a district, we have continued to align our LCAP to our strategic plan. So we are always working toward one common goal. And in this case, specifically 3 goals. We continue to focus on inclusion, where we want to look at our whole child and how we're supporting school climate with the supports we have in place, especially social, emotional, and development. Our excellence comes in the area of our academic achievement and how we continue to strive to reaching further goals and implementing research-based curriculum for our students. We are trying to aim toward a 2% increase annually in regards to our baseline that we set forth in 23-24. And lastly, our community. I feel Hermosa schools are the heart of the city's community, and we have done an exceptional job in regards to increasing our enrollment and building community business ties with the businesses that surround our schools, that support our schools.
The impact, the budget overview, this was the BOP that was adopted at budget. You can see what our LCFF funding was, what we're spending on supplemental. Lastly, I'd just like to bring your attention to the Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant. We did receive $9,988 additional funding for this year.
Try not to spend one.
It's already spent.
At this point of the year, our metrics, actions, and expenditures are at different levels depending on where we're at. So when we look at the LCAP, we kind of want to look at the life cycle of a plant and see how far it is toward its growth. So we will be looking at where it's in progress, if we have some unknowns, or if we are meeting our goals, and that would be our outcomes are known and complete. So in regards to inclusion, you can see the areas that are not implemented. These were goals and action items that we decided to discontinue because we found them no longer relevant. For example, we can look at the social media consultant. We do have a social media. We have Eileen, who's our communication director, and she fulfills a lot of that part for our students. And then we also have an LMFT as well in our district who does help with related items to students who may have some social emotional needs related to the stresses of social media in the current day. Reading intervention coach, we did discontinue that. We do have a solid tier 1 English language arts program with Wit and Wisdom, so we're very proud of the work that we have there. Partially implemented, the items that are listed as partially implemented are there because we're just middle of the school year. We will continue to work on these items, and are fully implemented. We've done an excellent job in regarding to summer school, our 2B program. We've held 3 parent workshops this year. I'm proud to say that we have 3 counselors at our school site. And we do have an intervention ELA period with Just Words that we started this year with 6th grade. Yeah.
Sylvia, can you remind us what 1.5 was?
Data tracking system, that was in Power School. We had various flags that were just icons that we can just look at for students. We did remove that because it was a program that we had that really wasn't serving that much of a purpose, where we can just look at the student's record overall.
Absenteeism, we're under 2%, right? Under 1%?
I would have to look at our percentage where we were at, Maggie.
And it depends on the grade too. So one of the things, like when we look at TK to 8, yes, but various grade levels sit at various levels of district-wide, it looks good, but when you like dig down, like TK in kindergarten, we have significant chronic absenteeism versus middle school looks a lot better. Yeah.
And we have some action items tied to that, Maggie, in regards to attendance incentives that we provided some financial budgeted items for each school site.
Right, and the SARB and SART process is also included in that goal.
On 1.5, should we, is there somewhere that it dives deeper into that, or should we just say specifically Power School? Because I would hate for us to look
Yeah,
like we're.
so part of the student success team, so if you see 1.6, so it doesn't necessarily make sense that they're two separate action items, if that makes sense. So the data tracking system in Power School it's not creating comprehensive reports for school administrators. Oh,
It's more just
yeah.
the word, should we add the word Power School instead of data tracking system?
yeah.
That way
we
then
can do
it's
that.
like everyone's very
Yes.
clear. It's
We
not-
can,
We're not getting rid of like
Oh, yes.
academic data
Yeah.
tracking.
We can update that when we update the LCAP for this school year.
Ready? Next slide. Okay, we're looking at goal 1. Budgeted expenditures were a little over 689,000. Estimated expenditures at the end of first interim was a little over 336,000. So we're on our way. The yellow column, I want to draw your attention to that those items are not fully expended. We hope to fully expend those and move those to the green at the end of the year.
In regards to excellence, we've done a very nice job in implementing what we have set forth and what our goals were. In regards to STEM and robotics, we had intended to have an elementary class and a middle school class do Project Lead the Way, but due to a staff member going on a current leave of absence, we weren't able to do the Project Lead the Way in the elementary school level, and we're hoping to implement that for the 26-27 school year.
Nice.
I forgot what TOOP stands for.
TUPE?
Great. Tobacco use prevention education. Yes.
I have one more question. How much of the STEM robotics program is tied into Project Lead the Way?
It's one class in 6th grade.
Oh, it's only one. Okay.
Yep.
And we're hoping to implement it and roll it out every year with an additional
Next year it'll
class.
expand 6th and 7th. So you do the way Project Lead the Way is set up. The teacher, certificated person has to be trained in a new program every summer, but you can only do one grade level at a time.
Okay, goal 2, budgeted expenditures was a little over 16,700,000. Estimated expenditures to date, $8,140,000. We're well on the way to expending all of that. The largest expenditure, of course, is highly qualified staff in that area. In the yellow column, there may be a few that we might not meet the financial goal. Not that we're not spending money on those things, but we might not need all the money that's been allocated to that goal.
In regard to our community and action items, we discontinued the digital literacy. We did have our library media technicians. They are providing a curriculum for us. So they're doing Common Sense Media, which they have a pacing plan throughout the year. This was an item that we had, an action item we had set forth that we had placed funding toward and that we didn't need because Project Lead the Way, Common Sense Media is a free curriculum. Chromebooks, network and infrastructure, and unstructured time for student engagement. We are working on a plan to refresh our Chromebooks. We just haven't expended the funds this year, and we are currently working on that with Sandra. And in regards to unstructured time and student engagement, this is the time that we have individuals or groups come out at lunchtime for the different schools, such as Surf and Sand, and we're still working on scheduling that out for the remainder of the year. We've done an excellent job with our full day TK and kindergarten and instructional aides. That we have an excellent program, and we have many classes for that, so we're happy with that. And we continue to work with STAR Education and enrollment, just overall with having parent education days where they can come and learn about our program and hear what we have to offer. And in regards to site safety, we are continuing to work with the e-bikes at Hermosa Valley School and providing education for students.
Goal 3, community action and expenditures, budgeted $2,327,000. At the end of first interim, we had expended $1,030,000. Again, the green column highlights what has been fully implemented, and we plan to expend all the dollars tied to those goals. And the yellow column, we may not need all those resources that have been allocated to that goal.
As we move forward, we will continue to look at data to see how close we will to be meeting each of our action items and our target points. So here are the things that we're looking to look forward to. Is our iReady data, which will be implemented in February. Students will be taking that for grades 2nd through 8th. California Healthy Kids and the California School Staff Survey will measure school climate and students how they feel safe at school. That will be in March. We'll continue with the strategic plan survey for students, parents, and staff. That will be sometime in April. CASP assessment and LPAC, that will be for reclassification of students. That's happening for trimester 3. And then we will continue to come back in June to review where we finish year 2 of the LCAP and what adjustments we need to make for our 3rd year of the LCAP. And one other thing that's coming up next is our DIVLS screener that we will be implementing in February as well this month. It's brand new to us. Is there any questions?
Any questions down the Maggie, Jen, Carol, Rachel?
First of all, thank you for this. It's always an education, and I can imagine all the work that's gone into this. And thank you for our community, our current parents and everyone that sit on the LCAP for help with the LCAP. But I was wondering, for Common Sense Media, you said as a curriculum, do we purchase that as a?
It's a free resource that's based on some research, and they have a whole TK through 8th progression. So we've set that up for our library and media technicians. We've given them the pacing plan and how they are to deliver it through to students.
Common Sense Media is a nonprofit, so they provide this, they provide this resource. Yeah, it's really great. So there's really just no sense to buy something if we can get it for free.
To save money.
Yes.
Yeah. How long what do we do to assess how that's doing?
This is our first year of implementation. And so conversations when we meet with our librarian technicians to kind of see where we are in the rollout, where we are in the pacing, where we are in the rollout.
Do other schools, local schools use Common Sense Media?
Yes, they do.
Thank you. It's awesome.
Thanks, Sylvia and Paula. Moving on to 10.2 district refunding opportunity, John Isom, Isom and Associates. Hello, John.
Good evening, John Isom with Isom Advisors, District's financial advisor, and I'm here to report on an exciting opportunity for the district as it relates to some of its old bonds. So I have a very brief presentation. I presume it's going to get put up on the screen and momentarily, and I will take you through that. Let's see. Well, I'm pushing it, but there we go. All right, it's a little bit small font. No one should be reading the thing on the right. That's just kind of a visual. So from time to time, school districts, after they've sold bonds, have opportunities, just like a home mortgage, to refund them. The difference being that the benefit is for property taxpayers. And so that's what we have here. The last time the district did a refunding was all the way back in 2005. But we have a chance because in 2016, we sold our Series A bonds from that election, sold those bonds. About 10 years' time has now passed, and now we have an opportunity to refund them. You can see some of the specifics here. The third bullet point I draw your attention to, there's something called a present value savings percentage. In this case, it's 7% as an estimate. That is a question about financial efficiency. So unlike a home mortgage refi where you just can keep doing it over and over and over and over, when you sell bonds, you have what's called a redemption date or a call date that prevents you from doing a refunding until that call date is up. So back in 2016, when bonds were initially sold, we told investors, all right, we won't refund these until 2026. So that was what's called a 10-year call. You can see 8 or 9, sometimes 6, but 10-year calls are very common. And that's why you're seeing me now as opposed to, John, where were you 3 years ago or 2 years ago? So when you do these refundings, picture another 10-year call date or an 8-year or 9 years, some extended period of time where we won't get to refund them again. So you don't do it to save $1. You don't do it if it's not financially efficient. In our industry, we have benchmarks and the GFOA, Government Finance Officers Association, that kind of helps Paula in her world, says don't do a refunding unless you can achieve 3% minimum, unless there's extenuating circumstances. Okay. Unlike a home mortgage refi, and I keep bringing that just because I think most people kind of understand that, is you don't reset the clock. You don't get to add years. It's not just a financial benefit year to year, meaning we're lowering taxes on an annual basis, but you have to lower taxes, period, overall. So we can't just improve our payments in the near term, but add another 3 years to make it look good. It's got to be like for like. So financially efficiency, we're at 7%. That's more than double the minimum standard, so it meets that criteria. On a gross basis, fourth bullet point there, we're looking at about $1.3 million in taxpayer savings. So pretty significant opportunity that's in front of you. A couple of other things to just touch on, and some of this might be more detailed than I think it's interesting, but I have a boring life if that's if this is what I find interesting. But it is of note that there are different ways you can take the benefit, or give, more correctly, the property taxpayers the benefit. You can do what's called level debt service, and as the graph on the right indicates, you're taking a haircut across the board, starting in year 1 and ending with the last year of the bonds. Okay, that's one option, probably the most popular. You can defer the savings and give no benefit. As you see in that graph there, there's no tax reductions, and we chop off a year, maybe 2 years at the end of the bond program. That saves you the most money, but politically is not that popular because people who have been paying on these taxes, we're saying, hey, don't worry about it. In 15 years, someone's going to get a benefit. You may not be here, but someone will. But there are reasons that some districts do it. And then the third is upfront savings. This one is a much more particular opportunity in that you save taxpayers significant monies in a couple of years, but then the tax rate goes back up. We use that during the Great Recession, when times were tough, and it was like, hey, how can we help our taxpayers? How can we help the property owners? Let's give them a break, a 2-year break or a 3-year break. But understand that you're going to get some phone calls when the tax rate goes back up naturally. Okay. So again, time and a place for each. We're going to talk about, and our recommendation is level, number 1 here. So how do you save money? It's really quite simple. It's the delta, or the difference between what we're paying in interest rates and what we could pay in interest rates. So this yellow represents the respective interest rates on the old bonds from 2016. And you can see in red where the marketplace is for potential new bonds. And it's that difference that makes the savings. So the methodology essentially is to take new bonds, go out to market and say, hey, we're going to go sell new bonds on behalf of the district, and we will have a new debt service schedule. And then we're going to take those new bonds and we're going to pay off the existing bondholders. So those folks that have held your bonds, maybe from the beginning, maybe they've since bought them over time, but over the last 10 years, these people have owned your bonds and they still own bonds going forward. But we're saying, hey, we've got a cheaper investor that we can tap into. So as you look on slide 6, you can see the debt service schedule. That's how you get to the 1.3 million. The existing debt service on that table on the right, you can see. So if we do nothing, the $20.6 million that is owed, that's what we would do. We would continue to collect taxes and we would pay that respective group off over time. Or, as I said, you replace the old investors with new investors, but a lower debt service. That's the new debt service column. And then the savings on the right-hand side, you can see goes from about $62,000 up to about $118,000. Interestingly enough, It's likely if any of us are still around 10 years from now, we might be doing a similar conversation because you can see we still have payments from 2036 to 2041. So these might get refunded yet one more time. Kind of depends on obviously market conditions. So what goes into these refundings, similar to a new money issue, other than instead of getting cash to do projects, we're essentially just lowering what our obligation is to the taxpayers. But the process to take these bonds to market are the same, right? We talk about it. Tonight, you've got some action items, some legal documents, joined here by some representatives from the straddling team that can speak to those, but essentially establishing the parameters of the bond sale, right? We agree and commit to do the following as a district. We're going to have this debt service fund established. We're going to annually disclose to investors our circumstances, a continuing disclosure report. A preliminary official statement is part of these legal documents, whereby that's an investor's prospectus, right? Hey, do you want to buy Hermosa bonds? Read the official statement and you'll know everything you want to know about these guys. So that's kind of step one, is these legal parameters that get established. Step two is, we call it prepping the bonds for sale. So we meet with rating agencies to get a credit score, similar to what we did before. We have a fantastic credit score. We want to affirm or keep that credit score, because the higher your credit rating, the cheaper it is for us to borrow money. Just like individual credit scores, right? Same concept. So we meet with the rating agencies, we tell our story, we ultimately get a rating back. That's prepping these bonds. Sometimes bonds get insurance. I don't think we'll need to get insurance for you. That is an exercise really just to get the lowest possible interest rates. So as we prep it, rating, preliminary official statements ready, we take those, put them out in the marketplace. You have an underwriter whose job it is to market that to investors. And then a 2-day pricing process. One is preliminary talk, and then the other is final lock it in talk. And then several weeks later, in this case, the beginning of May, we would close this financing. And then August 1st technically is the actual redemption date. So money gets put into an escrow account. And then on August 1st, we pay off all those investors and we replace them again with new investors. So short and sweet, concludes my presentation. Happy to take questions if you guys have them.
I just wanted to clarify, in my world, my words would be, we're just refinancing our loan.
Yes.
Okay. And we are paying back not Hermosans, we're paying back whoever bought our bond.
Correct.
And those people will get a special like $36 check, or they'll get, what will they get? I mean, they
Yeah.
probably won't get that many because I'm assuming there's a lot of people who purchased the bonds.
So
And we're $1.3 million.
Yeah. So the investors, whatever they've invested, right? So let's say they bought $100,000 worth of bonds that mature in 2033. Okay. So I've been getting interest payments for the last 10 years, 2033. Boy, if I hang on to these bonds, I'll continue to get interest payments. Well, we're going to interject and say, remember that call date, 10 years, time's up. We found a cheaper person. Here's your $100,000 back. And then we replace it with someone else who gave us $100,000 at a lower interest rate. So all of the investors that own bonds from 26 to 2041, we're going to give them their money back early, so they won't see it through to maturity. And we're replacing those same investors with a different group with lower payments. As it relates to the taxpayers, they don't see anything in form of a check or anything else. They just see a lower payment. Oh, my tax rate, instead of $22,
So your
it's
property tax
$21.
goes down.
Property taxes go down.
Yeah.
Correct.
These are all good things for us to just keep in our back pocket as we're going, right? Because it's great to be able to tell other people who are eventually going to sell our bonds or buy our bonds that we did this for them, right?
Yeah, and we typically put together a press release. You put that in the local paper. You can put it on your website that basically says, hey, good job, district. You're good stewards with our tax dollars. You just saved me $1.3 million. It's going to show up in the form of lower taxes going forward.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really great story. So I'm not sure. Do you provide us that?
Yeah, we'll
Okay,
we'll
great.
write that for you.
That will go in our waves of progress.
Yeah. That's something to put in the paper. I mean, that's.
Yeah, you want to get
And then,
credit.
easy reader blurb, but also just if we're going to, in another few years, go out for another bond, right? That's another good thing to tell people.
Exactly. Yeah. You want to be good stewards at the end of the day. Because to be fair to your staff, they're going to do all this work and the district doesn't get any money.
Right.
Right. So this is like, we're going to do all this extra work, but it's the right thing to do for our taxpayers. And we want to make sure the taxpayers know it.
Good
Why
job.
can't we reinvest that? Why can't the district? Why do we have to lower the taxpayers? Taxpayers agreed to pay a certain level of taxes. We say, hey, look, we've refinanced. Why can't we take that and invest it in
That's
our
my question.
project?
I think it's a good.
But I'm sure
There is, and at one point in time, some attorneys got awfully creative and created what we called a tax or a cash out refunding. And the theory was similar to what you said, which is, hey, wait a minute. They said they'd pay $25. Why do I give them a $23 tax benefit? Why don't I just pull money out? In fact, I'll split the difference. We'll call it $24 and I'll take $1's worth. And I think upon closer inspection, everybody realized like that's stretching the law a little bit. You can only get what voters authorize. So if they authorize you $30 million, that's it. So I like the way you're thinking, but
okay.
But it is, to Jen's point, this is really good
thanks.
Right. No, it's
PR
wonderful
to say, every time we had the chance, we worked hard to make sure you got
Lower
more
your
money.
tax.
Yes.
Now thank you.
We did not pocket it.
We don't have to tell them we didn't. We couldn't. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other
Thank
questions?
you.
Great.
That
Other
was
questions? Any other questions? Questions? No, okay. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
See you guys again. Thanks.
All right.
ask a question. I do have one more. Who makes money off of this? I mean, the taxpayers.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there is some incentive in here because I feel like we wouldn't be good stewards if we weren't doing this. We would be
Right.
negligent if
We would be negligent in my opinion, yes, we would not be good stewards. But, like anything else, when you refinance your mortgage, somebody's gonna, there are people
But it
who
works.
make
At
money.
the end of the day, our taxpayers have their taxes lowered.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
John, thanks for keeping your eye on the district.
All right, moving on. 10.3 Superintendent Report, Dr. Wild.
Yes, so thank you. So huge kudos, particularly to Hermosa View Front Office, because they have been enrolling kids like crazy. And so she is averaging a tremendous number of our newest kids every week. So for anybody watching, please go on our website and please enroll. We have lots of folks who've started the process. We just need you to finish out your paperwork. We have Multicultural Night tomorrow night, Thursday, February 5th from 6 to 8. We're really excited to bring this event back. I don't think we've had it since probably pre-COVID maybe. So we're very excited to bring this back. We've got 14 amazing tables, which can constitute multiple families who've come together to showcase their cultures and countries and traditions. Friday evening is Star Nova's production of Moana at the Hermosa Beach Community Center. And then we also just wanted to reshare, Sylvia had mentioned it briefly, we will be rolling out the K through 2 M-Class Dibbles Risk of Reading Difficulty Screener. The screening window opens up on Tuesday, the 17th, and it will be open as teachers conduct one-on-one assessments and screenings with students. And so we look forward to seeing the data, and we particularly want to thank our IT department. They hustled and got our teachers each iPads in order to be able to administer this in a way that we believe is going to collect cleaner data. So that's it.
Thanks. Anybody have any questions or comments? Oh, okay. Yes.
I'm sorry.
No, I love it.
When will we have will there be a school-wide Dibbles report that we get from, or is it individualized per student? I mean,
Both. All of the above. So we'll have it by class, we'll have it by subgroup, we'll have it by school, we'll have it by grade. Parents will also get, the law requires that we send home a family report 45 days after assessments. But that score report the window for assessment has to be closed so that the score become normed, right? So the window for this period of time will probably be a 4-week window to really give our teachers, this is their first time doing it. It's going to take them a little bit longer to run through everybody. And then once that window closes, then we'll be able to send out the score reports home. And we'll be able to look at the data. It'd be really interesting for us to kind of see. Great question. We just had a district-wide staff meeting today. So we'll be all of our teachers and our principals will be engaging what we call cooperative conferencing, which meaning they will be meeting with their teams, administrators, psychologists, counselors, RSP teachers, and then grade level teams and look at the data. Who are our blues? Who are our greens? Who are our yellows? Who do we need to open up now a few more sub-tests because maybe they scored in the red, so we need to open up a few more of the sub-tests to kind of take a look at, and then design interventions. Children are all going to have different levels. Some children may just need a little bit of work in letter naming fluency. Some might need a little bit in another area. And so this is why we increase staffing for our special education staff, support staff. Their caseloads are low, so they will have time in their schedule to really be able to push into classes, pull out. Within M-class, there's also a tremendous amount of intervention lessons, right? Depending on what a cluster of students need, they may, we had an amazing trainer last week, and there's a lot of kids who may show in like the yellow range. They may only need 6 minutes additional of intervention a day, right? And there are lessons for that. Their kids might need a little bit more intensive. So we'll look at the numbers of kids to figure out what works best for that particular group.
Thank you. I mean, it really does sound like a fabulous opportunity for us to help our.
It's a lot of really good data, but we always want to remind people, because we didn't have the best turnout for the parent ed night. It is a screener. This is low stakes. It is a screener. This is not anything that diagnoses for special education. It is really a screener to allow us to kind of look closer if we need to. So
Definitely data helps, right?
data, yeah.
Data, go figure. Okay, so we're moving on to the consent calendar. Do I have a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda, items 11.1 to 11.4?
I'd like to make a substitute motion to pull 11.2, the reading of the board policies. I had a question that I forgot to ask on the first reading.
Okay,
I have a substitute motion that needs a second.
okay, so substitute
A
motion
second.
to pull 11.2, second by Jen Cole. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
I make a motion to approve the revised consent calendar. Second.
But what are we doing with your
We pulled
11.2?
it out, so we can now.
Oh,
we
okay,
can
sorry.
close Consent as a whole and just leave for discussion.
so yeah, at this time, an item has been pulled from the consent agenda. May I have a motion? You just did that. May I have a
You-
motion to
second.
approve the consent agenda excluding item 11.2?
Second,
Second. Good.
because you
Thank
motioned.
I motion.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry, I know we're on the second reading this and it just caught my attention going through it again.
That's okay.
Of 4151, where we talk about, where did it go?
Sorry, it's just scrolling
Yeah,
for
it's
myself,
just
so I have it
scrolling.
in front of me.
It's somewhere,
4151.
not page 151, but also not page 2.
Somewhere between 2 and 151.
It was basically CSBA has these regulations for consideration, and we edited out that we didn't want to bargain over. We didn't want to bargain.
4151, is that the one? I'm sorry.
Get to it so I know exactly what. Here it is. That we didn't want to bargain over the frequency of salary payments.
Yep.
And
So
we never have to open that up, right? Like,
Right.
this is just proposed regulations. It never has to be
exactly,
part of the process.
exactly. And so 4151, 4251, 4351,
All of
right?
those.
Those are all virtually the same. They just apply to the different classifications.
Okay.
Certificated, classified, and management, right? So, but basically the same board policy and AR. But yes, so what you see in green on 4151, for example, that is our current language so that we do not have to reopen that every year.
Respecting CSBA's piece on it because we have policy.
Yes, and that's, so when we get the CSBA packet, basically, they will tell you what is law you will accept this.
Yep.
And then they will also tell you what's optional.
Mhm.
If it's struck, it means it's optional and you can adopt what your current practice is. Yeah, so they will always have, and then sometimes they'll even say, you want option 1 or do you want option 2? But in something like this, they'll say, it will say districts can propose language based on current practice. And so this was important for me to not mess with. This is what you've had for years.
Okay, so now we're going to take up item 11.2.
Unless anybody else have any other questions.
Any other
I move-
questions or
I move to
comments?
close And approve.
Okay, so can I get a motion to approve item 11.2?
So moved.
Second.
Carol Cluth. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? No. Okay, cool. Action items, moving on to action items. Item 12.1, 2025-26 Comprehensive Safety Plan. Ms. Gluck.
California Ed Code requires that each school district to develop annually, review, and approve a comprehensive school safety plan. Our plan was developed in consultation with appropriate educational partners, including school administrators, staff, and local emergency responders. The plan is available for viewing by appointment. It is recommended that the district comprehensive school safety plan for the 25-26 year, in accordance with California Education Code, be approved.
Cool. Any questions or discussion?
Kudos, Sylvia, for all 186 pages. It's an amazing read.
186. I only got to 170, but.
She also had a table read with the city, so all 100.
Good job.
Yes.
So no more questions or discussion? Can I get a motion to approve item 12.1?
I have one more question. When
Oh.
does this, so it has to be approved annually, March 1st. What's our normal process of going through with the city in any sort of,
I usually meet with the city around January. I set up a meeting and I have fire, city, police,
Safety.
Dr. Wilds and myself, and we usually go through, this year we particularly went through pretty much the whole plan because it was completely revised. But then we go what is required from you from the CDE, and we go through each one of those sections. They read it, they provide any sort of feedback, and then from there, we discuss any sort of professional development we may want to include the city in to make it more collaborative efforts. So we talked about that as well.
thank you.
Okay, cool. Yes, more questions. Good.
Sorry.
No, good, it's good.
As part of this, I know this was a safety plan, but you're working with the city and fire, PD, et cetera. Did ICE come up? I mean, I know we have state law that prevents.
So there is new language that's required in school districts, in all public school LEAs, comprehensive school safety plans, that outlines the requirements by school districts in the event of ICE being in and around our campuses. Yeah, we have to do notifications to families, and you can see that there's templates within the plan.
Anybody else have any? Okay, can I get a motion to approve 12.1?
Move to approve.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Rachel. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item 12.2, resolution of the school board of the Hermosa Beach City School District authorizing the issuance of Hermosa Beach City School District General Obligation Refunding Bond. Dr. Wiles.
Yes, so this is the accompanying action item for the board to consider a resolution authorizing the issuance of HBCSD general obligation bond refunding. This is what Mr. Isom spoke to. Staff recommend you adopt this resolution, and if you have any questions around the legal documents, we have our partners from Strandling here as well.
Any questions or comments or discussion? Okay, can I get a motion to approve it?
So moved.
Okay, thank you, Carol. Second by Jen. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Item 12.3, ratification of Lynn Kleiner's Music Rhapsody Agreement for monthly music lessons. Ms. Gluck, I used to know this person.
I know, gosh.
Hermosa-
We all went there. Gosh, I didn't know she was still doing
I
it.
didn't either. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hermosa Beach Preschool is introducing music as an enrichment to their existing program. Lynn Kleiner's Music Rhapsody will provide monthly instruction and will include a music concert. It's recommended that the agreement for the monthly music lessons with Lynn Kleiner's Music Rhapsody be ratified.
Questions, comments?
I just have a clarifying question. So we have two preschool classes, right? So the the amount will be worked out. Is that correct inside? Okay.
If what? What were you pointing to?
Well, it's 2 to 4 back-to-back classes. What I wasn't clear on is that once a week, is the thought once a week that they would come in, or to be determined?
I'd have to follow up with Dr. Gabriel because she has this already in place with the preschool. So I can follow up and we can put it in a
That's okay.
writing
I was
update.
just curious. It's exciting. I remember doing that with my kids.
Exactly. It's been around for a long time. Can I get a motion to approve 12.3?
So move.
So move.
Second.
Good job. Okay, who wants it? Okay, I'll give it to Carol and then second by Maggie, and then we'll move on from there. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 12.4, Memorandum of Understanding, Cal Schools West Ed. Ms. Gluck.
The California Healthy Kids Survey and the California Staff Survey provide the district with valuable data regarding student well-being, student connectedness, and school climate, which helps us to inform goals and actions in our LCAP. The survey will be administered in March. It is recommended that the Memorandum of Understanding with West Ed be administered to students in grades 5 through 7th, and the California Staff Survey be approved.
Okay, questions, comments? None? Okay, seeing none, can I get a motion to approve item 12.1?
So moved.
Oh, it's not, it's 12.4, sorry. So moved. Rachel?
Second.
Jen? Second. All in favor? Okay, item 12.5, consultant agreement renewal with Taking Time, South Bay. Ms. Gulk. Ms. Glad.
Taking Time is working with our school counselors to provide support groups for students experience divorce or separation. They would be individual and group counseling services that could happen before or after school. It is recommended that the consultant agreement with Taking Time South Bay to provide counseling support services for students and families experiencing divorce and separation be approved.
Well, I think this is a good program. Any questions? Yeah, Rachel?
Sure. How long does their grant run?
You know what? I'd have to follow up with that. They're just very excited. We're the first school district that they have partnered with in regards to providing these services. Patty Ellis, who helps with Taking Time, she helps run that nonprofit organization, is a former Hermosa parent. And so they came to us first to see if we would be interested in this program.
It sounds wonderful, and I don't want it to run out.
Yeah.
It just sounds amazing.
Go ahead.
I have a question. So would this be that we would communicate this out to our families and they would ask for it, or would it be that we would do referrals?
Right.
Yeah, our counselors have a list of students that are already high on their radar that they believe that would be beneficial by this, that we want to be able to offer first, and then kind of see what our space is.
Counseling would also be taking place at our school sites too.
That's awesome. Anybody down here? Well, Patty Ellis is awesome, and she also works with Beach Cities Health District.
She does.
So she's awesome.
Can I,
Yeah, go for
like
it.
the monetary amount? I just like, no, what is this worth for? I mean, because this is substantial, I think. This is something we'd have to pay a lot.
There's no financial impact for us on the district because it's through a grant. So it's a bonus for us. That's no fiscal cost. And I'm very proud to bring it to the district.
But just typically, if we were to contract out a therapist to come in and provide this, it can run hundreds of dollars an hour.
This is amazing. Okay, can I get a motion to approve 12.5?
So moved.
All in favor?
All right, you guys take turns. All right, Carol moved and Rachel seconded. You're next. Okay, item 12.6, award,
All in favor?
pardon me? Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, my bad. Item 12.6, award of leaseback agreement to Erickson Hall Construction for Hermosa Valley School Modernization Project. Dr. Wilds.
All right, here we go. Last one, everybody. So this Hermosa Beach City School District received proposals from 5 different firms to be considered for our leaseback contractor. After evaluating the qualifications, the capabilities, and the price of each proposal, staff selected Erickson Hall Construction as the best value leaseback contractor to provide pre-construction and construction services for the Hermosa Valley School Modernization Project. Staff recommend you approve this agreement.
Okay, questions, comments, Maggie?
Yeah, would you provide a little bit more detail for the public to understand how the process went for selecting?
Yeah, great question. And we also have Alan Rising here, our partner. The proposals came in, and part of the resolution we set the parameters of what we would be looking for. So Alan, please feel free to interrupt me because
You did a great job.
yeah, thank you. So we set the parameters, kind of like the rubric for, if you will, that we were looking for. So myself, Paula, Alan, Jen did a completely independent review and scored, right? Based on the scoring from their RFQ, from their proposals, then we selected 3 to interview. When those 3 came into interview, they gave us a proposal in a sealed envelope. And so then we also got to score based on their interview performance.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll just interject that.
Thank you.
Lease-leaseback is a construction procurement methodology authorized by Education Code 17406 that allows the district, the board, to select a construction company based upon best value criteria. Back in October of 2025, we brought a resolution to the board, which the board adopted, that established the criteria that included things such as price, which is always important, but the qualifications of the firm, the qualifications of the staff of that firm, the experience and successful completion of similar projects that the firm brings to the table. The evaluation committee evaluated all the proposals received, and after interviews and a lot of conversation and discussion, determined that Erickson Hall provided the best value to the district to be able to move this project forward in a timely fashion with the best overall value to the district moving this forward. So the recommendation is to award a contract with Erickson Hall Construction. I will take a side note and say I apologize for Erickson Hall. I was in contact with them today. They planned on being here, but due to some sick children at home, they were not able to be here.
It's fair.
So they do apologize. Otherwise, they would have been here tonight.
We're all parents, we understand. Yeah.
Thanks so much for that clarification from both of you. Just for public understanding on this, we are doing this first bit of the lease back for the 13 million, which is about just under half of our $28 million
Yeah.
on the grant.
For
And so-
Series 1 and so for Series 1 and Series 2. Yeah.
Series 2. So when we go into Series 3 and 4 for the other half of the 28 million, or for the other 14 million?
So the 13 million at this point is not going to fully cover 1 and 2, right? So it's more of a kind of an estimate at this point. But yes, so when we get to phase 3, not series,
yeah.
phase 3 series, I'm thinking bonds. And we'll go through this process again, right?
Well, we'll have to go through another lease back contract, and will we rebid it out for that last phase?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And we may not need to do lease, we'll look at that. We'll bring that to the board at the time to determine.
Okay, questions, Jen, Rachel, Carol? Okay, can I get a motion to approve item 12.6?
So moved.
Thank you. Maggie, and second?
Second.
Second, Jen, thank you. Okay, moving on to item 12. Oh, all in favor. I always forget that part.
Aye.
Thank you. Aye. Item 12.7, approval of revised job description, Network Systems Administrator. Dr. Wiles.
Yes. So this is an existing job description, but it had not been updated, I want to say in about 8-9 years, right? And technology needs have changed. So we felt it was important to go reevaluate the ever-changing technology landscape, but particularly network and cybersecurity demands have changed since this original job description. So we're bringing forward tonight an updated job description that will reflect 2026 requirements regarding technology reliability, security, and performance.
Perfect. Questions? Question? Okay, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Jen. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Carol. And all in favor?
Aye.
Shh. Okay, so moved. That concludes the action items portion of the agenda. We'll now move on to the board member roundtable. I'm going to start with Rachel.
I've asked a lot of questions today, so I'm good. Thank
No,
you.
I love all the questions because it helps
They were
me.
good.
I'm not smart enough to even know the questions. So I'm like, I like this. Okay, Carol.
I'm just going to reiterate the multicultural night tomorrow night from 6 to 8 at Valley. We have, the seed committee has done a really good job of that, and there are a lot of countries represented, so I think that's really exciting. And there's going to be some, I think, some dancing and some demonstrations, so you don't have to dance. It's just you, well, Canada, well, it's always represented. Yeah, that's all I had.
Hate to miss it. Any,
I have some too. My first thing would be, I just wanted to, I'm just looking back at 1.6 on our master plan and just wondering what, since it's beginning of February and there's things on this first year that we might want,
What, on the LCAP or the,
no,
you said
sorry, on
master
our
plan?
master plan. And since now we've hired our director of technology.
Yeah. Yeah.
thank God.
We are, I'm kind of interested in.
In our strategic plan.
Yeah, in our
Yep.
strategic plan, what our maybe our next steps or what our timing might be on some of these other goals that we have for this year.
Yep. So we're gonna have, our plan is to set a board workshop so we can discuss that, so
Okay.
we can review the strategic plan to date.
Not just on the strategic plan, specifically to me on
Yeah.
1.6.
Yep.
Okay. And then my other, it's just a thought, is
Mhm.
when we're doing the agenda,
Mm-hmm.
can we put the things like the Allens and the Johns, like the
Their
guests
name.
come first?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Only just because I feel a little like, it's not that it's that late, but
Right.
they
We
don't
can do that.
have to hang out with us I mean, I felt bad for those gentlemen.
We can move them around. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I just.
We
didn't
can
think
do
that's
that.
what
It's
they were
nothing,
here for.
they're not in any necessarily particular order.
Okay,
then
just if we
caveat,
have
so-
like a guess.
Yeah.
A little, yeah.
Yep.
That was my big excitement.
So I've been, this is a topic of discussion for the board to see if there's any interest in looking further into it. I've been following and listening to Zoom calls off of a group called Green Schoolyards. About 5 years ago, LAUSD passed a resolution based off of the amount of heat on campuses and lack of green space, and what that was doing both for the physical effect on kids, but then also the social, emotional, mental health of kids, of looking on like how to green schools and putting in place a series of protocols and norms for campuses to adopt. So LAUSD, one of the biggest school district in the country, did it. There is since then has been a series of other groups that have kind of picked up and have put together best practice sheets. And the local group in California is called Green Schoolyards, and they host monthly national webinars on different districts that are doing things, different examples of projects. And I think there's just some really interesting topics on there, and I'd be happy to work with one board member on putting together some things for the rest of the board to consider, or if there is some sort of working group that we want to do, if multiple people are interested in talking about it and crafting something that would potentially be a board resolution. I need help in thinking through like what Brown Act violations and committee pieces look like for this, but if there's interest in more than one in like putting together like a draft resolution that the board can play with, then we can talk about probably a committee structure, which just adds to Susan's time. But just opening up for discussion if people want to have that conversation about looking at best practices for campuses.
Would this be something, just in addition to this, be something that we should just have our architecture firm also look at?
I think we have to give them guidance. You know, I don't know if every architecture firm thinks about the best practices for these things. So.
Yeah, we can touch base with them. We have a bi-weekly meeting with them. It might be something we'll.
I am interested in helping, but I didn't get on the.
Yeah.
I hear interest down,
on your
yeah,
schedule.
interest down here too.
At this point, that's not obviously the only green space that they would be looking at right there on is the front of the school, but when we move into phase 3.
Yeah, I mean, it gets into anything from percentages of tree canopy that we should have on campus. So I think like, as we think about campuses, we talk about all the time how hot Vista is up on that playground, right? And so if we were to say like, we want to commit as a district to putting in X percentage tree canopies, right? One for the shade, because it's so hot up there, but two for the mental relief it provides for sitting under a tree and having that experience. So I just think there's other, we can make it as stringent or as loosey-goosey as we wanted with it. You know, you can think about it through what categories of plantings did we want to have? If we want to have first priority is always going to be California natives, and then next is won't get trampled by small feet, right? Whatever categories
Yeah.
that look like in terms of cost and priority. So I'm really interested in putting together like a series of best practices that this district could consider, especially as we go into this next construction phase, but that also like helps guide future board decisions on what green space looks like.
Oh, I love the idea. We planted trees at Valley right by, near the blacktop. Blacktop. That's a great idea.
I could help you with that.
All right.
So Vista would be governed by coastal commission stuff though, wouldn't it?
I said this, I meant view.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Both are warm. View is a little bit warmer, right? Because the placement of the field doesn't get the same level of breeze in the front of the school does.
No, I said Vista, I meant view.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so just in terms of steps and like Carol said, she was interested, so I can just start this initial iteration with Carol on it. We can bring it back to the group unless there wants to be more. And if there's more, I guess we can tap Susan into making a subcommittee on it, right?
2 could start, and then we could have a board workshop around it.
I support, but I have a black thumb and every plant in my house dies, so I don't want to take.
Well, you know where I am on
Black thumb
green.
touch my green schools resolution.
You know where I am on green.
I was waiting for your call to send from the computer.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so we are going to have a committee of 2 to start with, and then we'll move on from there. A discussion. Okay, so thank you, everybody. Moving on to the calendar, February 9th through 16th is President's Break, no classes. February 17th, HBEF, HBPTO joint meeting at Hermosa Valley. March 11th, HBCSD School Board meeting at 6 p.m. And that's it for this evening. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Thank you, Maggie.
Second.
Thank you, Jen. All in favor? Hey, thank you. All the meetings adjourned. Ba, ba, ba.